Good afternoon, good evening. Review document group. I did clean up the document, and that was one of the big things. I guess I got two of the three things I wanted to get done. That's right, because I cleaned up the document, and I got all of the yesterday's donations logged in. I need to come up with a better way to do that. I keep thinking about that, but the problem is it's going to involve an overhaul of the entire system, which... Anyways, for now, it's done. So, I've decided no more donations. There we go. I just have too many people donating now. It is an odd problem to have. It's a really flying mouse, you see. So I didn't want to complain about this too much, because this is just kind of a direct comparison to Mother 1 and 2. But you know one thing that I don't like about Mother 3? It's not urban fantasy. It's just kind of straight fantasy. I mean, yes, we have just now, in Chapter 4 of 8, entered an urban area, so now, like, we have some kind of urbanism. But, like, that's it. Like, we're just now getting some of the stuff. And they're doing some good stuff narratively with it, but it's not... Mother 3 is weird. And I know what you're thinking, yeah, duh. Well, you don't understand, though. Yeah, fake urban, that's a good way to put it. The point I'm trying to get across in my crude way is that it doesn't feel like Earthbound. It doesn't feel like Mother. Like, one of the original core precepts, which was something Itoi himself was insistent upon when he was initially pitching this, was set in modern day rather than fantasy or sci-fi. And instead, it's just weird. It's quirky, and it's strange, and it's unusual, and nothing else. I mean, I admittedly am kind of pulling from a few spoilers here, which hasn't been shown in the game yet. But even ignoring that, everything we've been shown on the screen is just strange. And that's it. End statement. Now, I know I'm not a big fan of strange, and I'm not. I've never been a fan of weird for weird's sake. But that's not really my point. It just doesn't feel like it's unique anymore. It is. It's just another weird, quirky RPG of dozens. Sparrow advice, have you ever noticed you can send weak enemies flying if you dash in them? Oh, yeah. I don't know if I agree with that, Rex, but the only way to know that is by actually going through and finding out for ourselves. So for the moment, I'll just kind of keep an eye on it, you know? I'm not giving any negatives for that right now. No, it makes perfect sense, Blade to Fall. This feels like a fan game inspired by Earthbound. It's worth noting Earthbound itself had plenty of issues, but, like, it also felt like a much tighter story. Like, even if we ignore all the gameplay side of things, the narrative of Earthbound was kinda solid. And it followed that rule I've talked about a few times, where even ignoring, like, I've said before, and I've gotten pushback against this, but I stand by it, that a truly good comedy work is a good work regardless of the comedy. Do not give that dog any sushi. I think it's the same thing with a game like this. Earthbound works because there is a really strong narrative core, regardless of the tone, the zaniness, and the humor, right? So far, I haven't really felt that here. I mentioned this really early on, if you remember, because I made a point of commenting on how the big scene at the end of Chapter 1 just kind of fell flat. Now, the animation afterwards, the shot of Flint losing it, that was good. But other than that, the whole sequence just felt weird and stretched and like someone had an idea for a big impacting scene and didn't know how to execute it. You know? Yeah, no, like, I sound complaining, and that's because, for the most part, the game up until now has kind of sucked. To put that as nicely as I can. Oh, please take a picture and share it in the Discord, Dream Whisperer. But yeah, exactly. Like, there's this giant chunk of the game that's taken up by what should have been maybe 20 minutes. I'm not slacking off at all. I'm sort of like, keeping an eye out for people who are slacking off. Yeah. What are you smirking about? By the way, Butch has gained a lot of weight there. I don't know if you caught that. $2,500 DP to use the train. Yeah, we're pretty far in, Rex. And yeah, if you stretched it, I think it could last for 2 hours. 1 hour sounds about right. For a bit of perspective, at about the 1 hour mark, you're generally hitting the second crystal in FF5, or are going up Mount Ordeals in FF4. Or if you want to go forward with that in FF6, you're usually dealing with the battle for Narshe at about the hour mark, right? Like, you can do a lot in an hour is what I'm trying to get across. Like, obviously, that's not definitive numbers, and everyone plays at their own pace, and blah, blah, blah. What I'm trying to say is that there can be a lot of density in an hour of gameplay. And if you just shrank down chapters 1 through 3 to an hour, I'm pretty sure that most of the density, like most of the content will be retained, right? Okay, there, Lucas. Working in the factory isn't easy, but you do get free tickets to Club Tituboo out of it. That's not all bad. Which is why I walked it back, Rex. God, everyone's got to get so persnickety. Okay, tell you what. Just because it doesn't change my point at all, let's assume that you're reaching the end of the river, the Leet River, at about the hour mark. Point still made. Think about how much happens. Maybe not even the end of the river, just the Returner hideout, right? Think about how much that happens before you hit the Returner hideout. We get establishment for the setting, the War of the Magi, Kefka, Geshtal. We understand a little bit about Terra. We know about Narshe and its piddling resistance. We know that the Empire has a massive technological thing. We have 4 party members. In fact, we've already rotated a party member by that point. That's pulling it technically. I shouldn't say that. I was counting Mog. We've had the first multi-party scenario instance. We've learned about Figaro and how they're pretending to be loyal to the Empire. We've met Kefka. We've actually gotten a really good characterization scene for Kefka. In fact, we've gotten 3 of them. We've had Bannon, who shows up and does his whole thing. We've learned a little bit about South Figaro and Shadow, and we've learned about Sabin and his whole story arc. And we have a pretty good idea of what we're doing, where we're going on a character, thematic, and plot, as well as world-building status. All of those are pushed really high, really far forward, within an hour. Or if you prefer, if you don't want to use time, by reaching the Returner's hideout, right? Because most people, there's a lot of arguments about where the end of the intro is for FF6, but everyone agrees that the last thing that can be considered the end of the intro in FF6 is the Leet River. Once you take down Ultros and you hit the branching scenarios, you're formally out of the intro by that point, right? So that's a lot of density in that. Now, that's low-hanging fruit. FF6 is FF6. So let's try something else a little bit less amaze-ballsy. How about Lufia 2? Lufia 2 is still a great game. Lufia 2 has a tremendous amount that happens very early on. We learn about the nature of how there's some kind of trial going on. There's something about a dual blade and the Sinistrals, whatever those are. We understand that there's a bit of a contest, like a mythological, philosophical contest going on between right and wrong and good and evil. Those who are dominant versus the Dextrals, which are never named that, we get the idea. We also get some world building. We understand a little bit about how the world works. We learn a lot about Tia and Maxim. And some development about how what's exactly been happening in the world lately and how it's been slowly getting worse over time. And then, yeah, and we've probably met Iris by the hour mark, right? By the end of the intro mark. So that's a decent chunk too. And I can name other examples. In fact, here's one for you. How about Earthbound? Like, I can just go to Earthbound for this. Earthbound doesn't have a perfect intro. In fact, I did give it negatives for its intro because it stumbled several times. On the gameplay axis, but on the story axis, there is once again a lot of density before you leave Onett. Same general thing, right? Same general concept. And yeah, FF7, Midgar, enough said. I'm getting off topic. Forgive me. The point I'm trying to reach here, as everyone's arguing with me here. The point I'm trying to reach is that regardless of examples of other games, let's not use analogies, let's not use other examples. The problem is Mother 3 is not doing the same thing. Mother 3's intro sucks. Mother 3's intro tried to be a big traumatic moment and failed at it, and took way too long to get there, and then spent way too much time spinning its wheels afterwards. Now, there is legitimate foreshadowing going on here. I should know. I know the story of this game. But, and this ties to what Rex just said, part of the problem is Mother 3 is a little bit too in love with the concept of the big twist. And that's dangerous, is how I'm going to phrase that. It is a narratively dangerous thing to do, to try and hinge a lot of your story on a big twist, right? First of all, the twist has to be satisfying, and there has to be foreshadowing. There has to be build up to it. It cannot be the thing that completely blindsides you. You have to have some development and some establishment before you actually just say, "Oh, by the way, it was a sled," right? You also need to not hold on to that for too long, and this is the important part right here. The game needs to stand on its own. This is what I was referencing earlier, so we're finally coming full circle here. The game needs to stand on its own, regardless of the twist. Same rule I was just mentioning with comedy, right? A comedy film should be an enjoyable film, even if the jokes don't land. It's not going to be as enjoyable, but it still needs to be an enjoyable film. There needs to be some meat there, other than the jokes, right? So, same thing with a twist film, or a twist game, or whatever. If you're going to have the whole game hinge on this one giganto twist of doom, it better be a good game, regardless of that. And so far, it is not. Now, I was going to say, I'm not going to name games that have successfully pulled off having a huge twist in them, because even mentioning those games would probably be a spoiler. However, my point is still made firm, because almost every single one of those games that landed because of the big twist had good gameplay and good story other than the big twist, right? You already mentioned FF7, so why don't we go ahead and mention that FF7 has plenty going for it that has nothing to do with the twist. We've got Barrett's story arc, we've got development and fleshing out of the individuals, there's tons of support cast in FF7. We've got several mysteries that have nothing to do with the twist going on. We've got the overall thematic significance of the evil corporate jack that says, hey, there's evil capitalism again. As well as the environmental message, which is also a pretty strong message in FF7. And then we've got, good boss design, the materia system, and generally some good pacing as far as the gameplay axis to make the game actually fun to play. So it's a fun game with interesting aspects, plural, of story. And then, period, end sentence, new sentence, big twist. Make sense? Now, granted, as we've all been saying, we're in chapter 4 and the game has effectively just started. And I have a feeling like it's going to be doing a lot better going forwards. But the problem is, we're many hours into the game and the game hasn't even started yet. And that's why there's this gigantic pile of negatives over here on both axes. Okay, rant off. I know everyone hates it when I just derail like that. I apologize. I guess that's not derailment. That's directly on task. But whatever, you get the point. Hi, Random. Yeah, actually, Blake Duvall. Chrono Cross and Xenogears both have this exact same issue. In differing degrees, too. So a 1 change for the first part of the game, that's easy. Chop it down. Honestly, get rid of the gameplay. Make it a flashback. Make it an extended intro sequence. I hate to do that because, you know, I'm a very big gameplay person, but you give me 1 change, nuke the gameplay, and chop it down to basically a sequence of cutscenes that are maybe an hour long, tops. That honestly, that's kind of stretching it. I still think it'd be shorter than that. That's true. This could literally be a reverse Sunshine Syndrome. Oh, hey, Lucas. Yeah, you're for the factory or something? If you feel like working, I'm sure they'll hire you. Do we have it? I guess we do have a name for that. Don't we? No, we don't, do we? Because, like, Kingdom Hearts Syndrome is when the beginning and the end are great, and there's this giant pile of filler in the middle. And then, obviously, you know, Sunshine Syndrome is... it just falls off a cliff. There's got to be a name for that, right? It gets good 20 hours in, right? We all know what that means. I'm sure everyone in chat can name at least 1 game right now off the top of your heads, which is a it gets good after X hours game. I can name 3 right off the top of my head. And all of them have Final Fantasy in the name. Well, that would be more than 1 change, Loken. That's not allowed. Mother Syndrome. Hey, you, suspicious fellow. What are you doing here? What's that? You want to join? Go to Club Titibu. That's a special place for workers here go to relieve their daily exhaustion. Not for people who don't work here. If you absolutely have to go there, then it's simple. Just do some part-time work. What do you say? Sure. Where are you at, Random? In non-spoilery terminology. Transport Clayman. First go all the way inside. Find a ladder. Go down it. You'll find a bunch of Claymen. Some of them will be almost out of energy, so I gotta bring them back up here. Bring them up one at a time. Please tell me this is not the same thing I just did with the monkey and the stupid TVs. Sign your name on the document. No, not your name. The name of, you know, the name of the person in the background. Person pulling the strings, I guess you could say. What I mean to say is the player's name. I just need it for verification purposes. Savacom Romulan. Done. Is that your correct name? Yes. Alright, got it. Add it to the records. Now listen, don't do anything bad, because that'll only inconvenience Savacom Romulan. Alright, work hard. Hold on, dog. Dogs have dog things to keep them busy. Go ahead and do what the boss dog says. Yep, the pig Nazis have invented child labor. The Claymen low on energy are very weak, so you'll know which ones they are right away. Up to it. Okay. That's a lot of glush of clay. Oh my god. Honestly, yeah. Absolutely. And dog labor. Hang on. I don't understand something DeQuack just said. I don't understand your question, DeQuack. I'm sorry. Could you Can I get a redo? Okay. So you have several options. If you can go over the lava, then there is an island which you can go to. There's a dungeon which you can reach in the southwest. And there's a town in the southwest. You don't need to go. There's just an optional thing. There's also a very difficult dungeon in the far northwest you can go to. Those three should, like, cover you for the next immediacy. I gave a negative because I disliked certain characters. Okay. Right. Can you name an example of me giving a negative because I don't like a character? I know that sounds strange, but if you can come up with an example, we can work with that. No, I have, first of all, never reviewed Final Fantasy X-2, and second of all, Brother is a bad character. Hey there, Lucas. Did you come to see me? How's Flint? Same as always? I see. Okay. That's valid. All right, all right. So, the problem here, DeQuack, is you have now created an impetus upon yourself to prove your point. So, I want you to do me a favor and tell me why you think Flint being a terrible father, the townsfolk being awful to the children, Duster's father being physically and mentally abusive towards him, and the Magpies, who are racist caricatures, who are assholes, and tell me all of... Oh, also Hinawa's father, who is both creepy and awkward. Tell me how any of that is good character design. Oh my god, no! This is the dog work? It's nice to exercise once in a while. Like, okay, as long as you're happy. We'll get a healing. Listen, pig, dog, what's the difference? Let's talk to the pig. Oink, oink. Which translates to oink, oink. The new guy with the dark fur is so annoying. It's like, just shut up and work, will you? Yeah, they're generating energy, maybe? I don't actually know what they're doing. So down, I suppose. Okay, that's interesting, DeQuack. So the argument you were positing is that you cannot, under any circumstances, give negatives to characters because any character design is something that's done deliberately, whether it's a bad character or an irritating character or a frustrating character or a gross character or a character who is inconsistent or anything like that. It doesn't matter because it's something that was deliberately done by the writers. Allow me to, with 10 plus years of backing at my back here, professionally disagree with that. It's funny, we're actually discussing this during the lunch break. Me and a friend of mine were talking about this. There's this weird thing I've noticed. Yeah, first of all, deliberately bad is still bad. Let's just get that out of the way. Second of all, the definition of a negative is something that makes it worse, right? So let's say there's a horrible person who's a character in a work who actively makes the work better. That would be a positive, not a negative, because they're improving the overall enjoyment of the work, that they're making the work better. That's what a positive means. If they're making the work worse, then they're a negative. That's the definition of a positive and a negative. But third, if I could rant for just a second. Yeah, Odin, great example. Odin in God of War 5 is the most disgusting bastard, right? He is so horrible. I gave him many positives to story because he was such a massive improvement to the story. And he made the narrative much better by his presence and existence. So, great example. Yeah, actually, you know what? Ratchet in the first Ratchet and Clank game, which is actually a pretty good example of that. Yeah, exactly, Lo. Exactly. Because, yeah, it does depend. Everything depends. That's really the fundamental thing. There's no such thing as an automatic positive or no automatic negative. But if I can rant for a second, I got this spool. I got this in my ammo belt. I got to go with this. So there was this thing that really started to get going a few I want to say like a little over a decade and a half ago, right? And it was this problem where people, almost always YouTubers, would pop in and say, here is an objective review of insert video game here, insert movie here, insert show here. And they would all constantly play that as objective reviews, right? Now, they weren't objective reviews, but that's not even really the point. The problem is they were fundamentally lying to us because they weren't even trying to be objective reviews. They were pure opinion. Like, if I was to look at this as a terrible example, but this is the kind of stuff that was happening, I'd look at this and I'd say, well, this bowl of carrots is orange. Therefore, this sucks and it's garbage. Objectively. No. let's just get this out of the way. But here's the real problem for me, especially as a reviewer. There's been this huge pendulum. This is actually true for a few years now. There's been this huge pendulum shift way too far the other way, right? Way too far the other way, where some people are arguing there's no such thing as objective. There's no objective reviews. There's no such thing as polishing. It's all opinion. It's just your opinion, and it doesn't matter and it doesn't count. And if I can be so bold, that's extremely frustrating and actually, honestly, kind of insulting when people say that the things that I put forth in my reviews are just my opinion. The analogy I came up with in order to try and convey this is, I want you to imagine someone sits down who's a master painter who has been painting for 10 years and, you know, does this wonderful painting, and someone says, well, that's just something you threw together. You're technically right, but you're sort of being really dismissive at the same time. Because usually what someone means when they say something like, well, that's just your opinion, is they mean your opinion does not count. And I put a tremendous amount of effort into painting the most detailed painting I possibly can with these reviews. And I do screw up, and I do try to fix those screw ups. I still actually have to go back and audit the Pokemon Black and White review in order to do this. In order to try and keep updating. And I do, most people don't even notice. I actually go back and update old reviews semi-regularly to try and fix holes. But the point is that yes, this is my opinion, that I have spent actual years developing and practicing and advancing my skills in analytical review and critical thinking in order to try and be able to look at this and point to the literal thousands of games that I have looked at and covered, and the hundreds of current games that I have at post-Oblivion line, and say, this works here, this works here, this works here, right? And so I try to put all of that work and effort and thought. This is something I just brought up today. I try to type up as much as I can in the document to try and make it as clear as I possibly can what the positives and negatives are. Because otherwise, what's the freaking point from my perspective? Like, I could just look at this and be like, well, Mother 3 sucks. I can just do this. You remember I actually tried that for a while because some people were getting irritated at the whole review system on YouTube, on the YouTube side of things, and I offered the possibility of just doing a thumbs down or a thumbs up at the end of it. And people were like, yeah, I could just give whatever positives and negatives without backing anything up. I could just do that. Like, that's how this works. Trust is the important thing. I could just sit here and I could just be like, here, hang on. I'm going to give... Okay, I actually can't do this. Ironically, I actually cannot do what I was about to do as a joke. But, like, imagine if I just replaced this 16 with 160. I'm just going to give 160 negatives to store. I can just do that. I have that power. It doesn't mean anything. If I can't back up that 160, then it's not there for all intents and purposes. Like, I can look at it, and I have so many examples of this at this point in my history. Because I could point to many things where something really pisses me off personally, and I either didn't give it any negatives, or only gave it the ones that I felt that it fairly deserved. Same thing on the reverse. There's some things that I really, really like, but I'm like, okay, I gotta hold back because I don't want to overpraise. I don't want to give something tons and tons of positives just because it happens to click with me. How well does it actually do? How much can I actually justify? How much can I do by work in order to show the research, in order to show that it deserves these positives? My system is not perfect, but I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm trying to be fair. And that, DeQuack, is why I think that this game deserves a negative for the terrible characters, because they actively push down the narrative. When you have an entire setting, sequence, and setup, which is just these assholes, and they're all assholes, it makes the narrative less investing. It removes the player further from the narrative itself to the point where we're just pushed out of it. Because if you're going to have, and I can actually point to evidence on this, if you're going to have an entire cast of dickheads, you need to do something with that to make that more palatable. Like make them all extremely well acted and make them have layers and depth and nuance. I can point to an example of that because it's called Grand Theft Auto 5. GTA 5 has its own problems, and several of its characters are really horrible human beings who are positives to story because of the way they're presented, the way they're constructed, the way they're executed, in order to make you actually invested in the narrative, increasing the value of the narrative. Okay, all the characters, because they all suck. They're all horrible. I mean, you cannot tell me that GTA 5 is badly acted and badly motion captured, Logue. I will push back against that to the end of time. You don't have to like it, but effort. But yeah, by contrast, Wes, I think is his name, has spent the entire game calling his son a moron. Just being generally abusive. It's not funny. It's not conveying a narrative point. It's not part of his character. He's just calling him a moron over and over and over again. Hi, Sean. Yeah, he's not an evil character. He's just some dude. He's just his dad. Being an abrasive dickhead isn't a trait. Yeah, if they were doing something with it, they could actually work with that. Again, it's all down to the specifics. It's all down to the individual specifics of how they use what in where. And so far, I feel like the first 3 chapters, and I'm going to zoom in. Actually, I'm going to even say the first 2 chapters primarily, have just been aggravating. Yeah, Alec. Oh my god, Alec pissed me off more than Wes did, honestly. You need to smile more, Flint. I know your wife just died. My daughter just died. Smile more. Now, I know some of you in chat are just rushing to your keyboards to defend how awful these characters are, and I get what you're going for, because I know the story of this game too. But my overall point is I think they could have executed the same point and purpose in trying to convey what they're trying to with these characters without that. You know what I mean? My opinion. Oh, I guarantee you Itoy was poisoned when it comes to the writing of this game. 100%. I was challenging myself to think about some of the supporting cast. And I thought about, let's just focus in on the first chapter of Earthbound, right? Onett. So we've got Pokey, who's not as well presented as you think. He's barely in that, but he's there. Facade, we'll come back to that. Because we'll come back to that. But so we got Pokey, we've got our parents, such as it is. We've got a little bit of characterization for Picky. We've got Frankie, who actually turns it over a new leaf while we're there. We've got the terrible mayor, who is a politician. Let's just call that what it is. We've got the librarian lady. We've got the guy who's trying to overcome his shyness. That's also at the library. We've got the helper mouse. A lot of the random characters. You remember the lady in the bakery who teaches you how to talk to NPCs more than once? There are bits of flavor without having nothing but nonstop aggravation in Onett. That's the point I'm trying to reach. The characters, the supporting cast of Onett is what I would consider a positive, because each of these individual people are something that can... Oh yeah, the cops too. Each of them add to the narrative. Each of them make the narrative better. Each of them improve the narrative access plus to story. as opposed to here, where honestly, I want to stop playing the game, right? Because I just can't bring myself to give a crap. And again, I think I'll zoom in on Alec because he is probably the worst actual example of this. Again, and I hate to re-stress this, his daughter just died. His grandson is missing, and he is actively trying to find that person. And he is telling his son-in-law that he needs to smile more and trying to crack jokes, really, really bad jokes, in order to get him to convey that. And that's just grating. But it might have been tolerable if it had happened once, and then maybe a second time, and then the third time he starts to joke, and he's like, okay, you know what? I'm sorry. And he just walks back from it and goes silent for the rest of the section. And just turn left here, turn up here, etc. But instead, he says it something along the lines of 8 times in a row. And at that point, it gets abrasive not to Flint, but to us. Once again, execution matters, right? Yeah, maybe it's just a coping mechanism. Voice acting could have helped with such a thing. Obviously, they don't have access to that. Which is funny. There was something in consideration for making this a GameCube game for a while there. Obviously, that didn't materialize. What? No, no. Ah! I apologize for the rant. Please forgive me. What he said. There's your summary. You want the TLDW, TLDTL. I feel like Mother 3's first 3 chapters, most especially its first chapter, are lacking on both axes. And that's the summary right there. The real shame of it is that I have a feeling this game is going to just kind of start knocking it out of the park at a certain point in time. I hope. And we will see. I've already noticed that Chapter 4 is already noticeably better in several respects. So. Oh, there's someone. Come here. No? No? Okay. Ah, crap. I screwed up big time and broke this clay man. I'm gonna have to haul this to the lift and carry it to the entrance. Yep, looks like I'm stuck doing overtime today. This factory's for digging up clay, but I hear it has one other secret purpose. I don't know if it's true or not. They say there's an insanely huge dragon buried underground. Supposedly it's bigger than the whole island. You're right. You gotta be kidding me. One day I just have to finish work, so I can go to Club Titabu, so I can see Violet in all her hotness. Huh? Is that you, Lucas? Or are you someone else? I never imagined you, of all people, would ever take the ropeway up to visit Club Titabu. You are Lucas, right? Who else would I be? Also, going back to the game is doing pretty well on the music axis. I like how the music here kind of sounds heavy, rocky. Like it's got that vibe and beat to it, you know? And yeah, I hope y'all are enjoying this run because, well, I mean, that is, at the end of the day, the point. If I'm being totally honest with myself. The review side is probably more for me than it is for anybody else. Oh, God, please. Come on, please. Oh, okay. Scooch out, scooch out, scooch, scooch, please. Please scooch out from the wall. I have heard many times from many people that all they really want from someone like me is to just hear me endlessly praise it. And that's actually kind of discouraging, if I'm being very honest with you. I can just drop, you know, drop any levity for a second. Oh, hey! Reset! Woo! Because there's actually that's a whole subset for those who are not aware of both YouTube and stream, and people who just blindly glaze, right? Like they just praise and talk about how amazing such and such is, and they just kind of want other people to talk how amazing such and such is. And now, to be very clear, no judgment. Okay, that's not what this is about. The world sucks, and so being able to just kind of lose yourself in a lie of how amazeballs something you remember is or was, and not acknowledge or consider anything else to it, is an appealing prospect. Right? Like, there's an understandability of that. There's a reason why insert game you love is this amazing masterpiece, or is even better than you ever thought it was, is a semi-common formula. Right? There's nothing wrong with that. That's not what I am. Could you, like, go, please? That poor Clay, man. Be careful there. Yeah, it's true. The other side of that is, here, this beloved thing you love is actually trash. That's the other common one, isn't it? I suppose there's a third one. I forgot about the third one. The third category is insert universally hated game, show, or movie is actually secretly amazing. Right? Like, I don't know. Quest 64 is an amazing game, and I'm tired of pretending it isn't. Or something like that, right? Jesus, that's a jolt. Alright, let's go find the rest. Oh, don't even get me started on the word mid. I've said this before, and I'll say this again. There's actually nothing wrong with something being mid. Mid is not an insult. Yeah, why Starfield is secretly genius. Why Secret of the Stars is the greatest JRPG of the 90s. I couldn't even finish that one with a straight face. I do try to be nuanced. I know I fail, and I do apologize for that, but I do try. I am firmly of the opinion that the same exact thing can be both a positive and a negative. In general, not just in games. I did, and thank you, Elizar. I've heard that before, too. That should be... Next time I'm doing casting for the rewrites, I should have the casting call me, okay, you need to say this line with a completely straight face. DMC 2 was secretly the best Devil May Cry game. Oh. Okay, am I blind? I'm not seeing another dude, and I also don't see another place to go. I've got to be blind. I'm blind. I'm dumb. Did I secretly get, like, the one at the very end for... Okay, it was that guy. So where's the third one, then? Or do they spawn differently? Oh, hang on. Let's just get this guy. Let's just get this guy for now. Yeah, that would make sense. See, what I really need to do is do purely negative reviews, right? Why are you doing this? So the goal here is to become a part-time worker at the factory so I can gain access to the bar club. We're not actually 100% sure. They haven't been clear about that. in order to determine if someone there is Duster. That is our current objection. Yep, we gotta get the club. I guess we got him then. Alright, so who am I missing now? Unless he's just gonna spawn now, in which case ignore me and I'm a dumbass. No, I agree. As we've talked about before, Mr. Itoy... Oh, it's this guy. Okay, cool. Pretty much took the script and just copy-pasted it from Mother 3 from Earthbound 64. Now, for those of you who know, he did rewrite the ending. And let me tell you, I don't think we wanted his original ending. Because, holy hell, that would be some negatives. I can pretty much tell you that definitively. Because, I can even tell you the ending. It's not really even spoiling anything. Because in vagueness, the original ending was Rocks falls and everyone dies. Which, is one of the most universally panned types of endings that exists in gaming. Hell, in anything, actually. Like, it's very hard. Anything can be made to work, right? But it's very hard to make that kind of an ending actually work. I don't think Mother 3 was going to manage that. No, he was going through some stuff, and it shows. Don't forget you get your pay. Oh yeah, I gotta get my pay. Yay, I finished my part-time job. Woo. I mean, this is Japanese work culture. You're kind of not supposed to tell the producer, hey, I don't think you have a good idea here, unless the producer themselves opens themselves for that. Like, you don't offer advice. They ask for advice, right? Good job today. Here's your reward. Here's your pay for the day. Work every day and you can make even more money. Thank you, Dream Whisperer. Work up a good sweat as you strive for your dreams. You're still young, after all. Gotten really late. Go relax at Club Titabu. Have a good time. Good job today. Alright. I can think of one piece of media where, you know, everyone died, and I think it actually kind of worked. I can't tell you what it is, because that would be spoiling. For obvious reasons. But I can only think of one off the top of my head. Romeo and Juliet? No. Ooh, a map. Tickets, please. Yeah, I can think of a spacefaring movie that would also qualify. I did, Wolverale. And man, I hated that ending. Yes, I actually can go. Did I like Romeo and Juliet? No. I'm gonna make you guess random. There are fireworks inside. Huh. Oh, did someone kill the bot? Who killed my bot? There's actually two I like. There's two Shakespearean plays I like. If you can guess either of them random, then I'll give you bonus points towards a game of your choosing. God, was I the only person who really didn't like the Leonardo DiCaprio Romeo and Juliet? Mm. I don't recommend it. And I'm not much of a purist. My biggest complaint with it, hang on, can you guess my biggest complaint with the Leonardo DiCaprio Romeo and Juliet before I tell you it? Guns or swords? Nope. Hmm. Sorry, one moment. I'm actually having to look up the name of a freaking character. And I don't know how to look it up, so I'm just looking at best Shakespearean characters, which of course did not give me the guy in question. Oh my god. Who's the best Shakespearean character? Just start tossing out names, because surely one of them is it, right? Who the hell's Tybalt? um... Oh, this is gonna bother me now. Oh, this is really gonna bother me now. Hang on, hang on. I can't believe this. I don't even know how to zoom in on the character. I'm just going through like all of his works really quick. Um, so it's not in Henry VI. I thought it was. There it is. Okay, okay. The best Shakespeare character is Falstaff. Let's start with that. Okay, now we figured out that. So Falstaff is in Henry the Fourth, Part 1, Henry the Fourth, Part 2, and Henry the Fifth. Oh, he's only mentioned in Henry the Fifth. So, consequently, Henry the Fourth would be one of my favorite Shakespeare plays. I don't remember which, don't ask me. By the way, I played the Prince of Wales. The other one is a much more boring answer and much easier to remember. It's Midsummer Night's Dream. Honestly, all the Henry ones would kind of work for me. For the same basic reasons. I gotta say, I'm boring. Alright, hang on, let me double check something really quick. Okay. Oh, there. I haven't seen you around here before. They don't allow pets inside. Sorry, I have to ask you to leave. Come back some other time. Their names are Skinhead and Neckbeard. Whoa! It's that guy who had a dog with him just a minute ago. And some dog-like dude. No, there's something fishy about this. Where'd that dog go from earlier? Where'd this dog-like dude come from? Top of that, you smell underage. Sniff, sniff. You smell like an underage kid and a dog. Hey, you mentioned that is weird. No suspicious people allowed. That's our rule here. Scram. Get lost. Kid-like guy and dog-like dude. Now I say we pulverize them. Oh my. If it isn't the underage smelling poo and the dog smelling woof. I take it you two have been mistaken for an underage kid and a dog yet again. What? You know these dudes, Violet? I don't know, I still say there's something not right about these guys. Especially this dog-like dude here. Shake. Don't look away from me. Shake. See? You do know how to shake. Yes, I do know how to shake, bud. This guy is definitely dog-like, but it seems he isn't a dog. Dude. By chance you are a dog? You've been one of the best dogs to ever shake. Wonderful. Come in. Have lots of fun. Forget about all your worries. Okay, so. We were just talking about positives and negatives in the same thing. Let's explain something called comedic timing. Now, comedic timing is actually way too complex to cover in a simple thing. So let's go ahead and try to summarize this. Generally speaking, you want to do a build-up and then you want to land it. You usually call it the punch line for a specific reason. So, boom, like that, right? That is the... I know this sounds dumb, but I mean this with sincerity. This is the visual metaphor of humor. Boom, boom, right? Now, there's a couple other ways to do this, but that's your basic construction. That's your basic formula, okay? So, them showing up, nope, no dog allowed. And then them slowly, sadly leaving the screen, and then the camera staying on them for several seconds before Lucas and Boney came back onto screen with Boney in an outfit. That's the pong right there. That landed. That was funny, plus the story. Like, that's the best joke in the entire game so far. Then the scene kept going for several minutes, driving the joke into the ground. Yeah, at the absolute latest, have it end when Violet shows up. Like, you notice there were at least two separate moments in which the joke would have naturally reached its conclusion. One is when they come back in. Oh, yes, come on in, sir. That's it. Boom. Natural conclusion point. But they decided to elongate it. Hang on a second. Something's not right here. Then Violet shows up, which offers another exit to the point, right? So, oh, yeah, of course, Violet. But then it keeps going. Yeah, 3 times the joke should have ended and didn't. Like I said, plus to story, because that was funny. Negatives to story, because it wasn't. Hey, dude. Oh my god, let it die. Let it die. Yeah, okay, can we go? Can we go, please? How scary. Okay. They don't have restrooms for dogs here. Oh, you're not a dog? My apologies. Giggle, giggle. All the waitresses here giggle at the end of everything they say. I really wish they'd get rid of that rule, though. It's so stupid. Giggle. Hey, how's it going? I got some homemade DCMC merchandise for you. Yeah, there's also the elongated joke. Family Guy leans on that a little bit too much. But it's worth noting, does occasionally do that exact same joke reasonably well. And it really is when you're just leaning on the joke over, and over, and over. And even that, though, it's possible to do too long. Because the way it works is, you're doing the joke, and then it keep doing the joke, and it stops being funny, and it gets weird. But then you have to keep doing the joke a little bit more, and then it kind of turns around, and the joke becomes the fact that you're repeating the joke, and it goes back up to being funny, but then you need to stop. Because if you don't, it'll dip right back down again, and it never recovers from that second dip, right? Once it does its final dip, it just stops being funny, and you're just waiting for the scene to end. So you got to be like, and then terminate, right? Again, bam! You gotta end the joke. Let's get the ring. No. No. Ah, that speed up is really nice, though. Yeah, that's a good rule of thumb, Cycloud. Oh my god, I can buy the hat for both of them. I just noticed that. There's also the rule of, I think it's the rule of 3 repeating is what they call that. I didn't come up with the term. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. But it's the idea that you do a joke, and then you do a repeat joke, and that's your basic, what do you call it, running gag. And then you do it a third time, and each time, ideally, it needs to iterate a little bit. Don't just do the same joke 3 times. Do the joke, little bit different joke, and then like a punchline variant of the joke. Now, this is the important part. Then you don't do the joke for a while. You let it sit. It has to sit long enough that the viewer / reader / player has not quite forgotten it, but it's no longer at the front of their mind, right? It's sufficiently time has passed that it's moved to the back of their mind. That's when you can go ahead and iterate on it again. Boom. Pull it back up to the front. Do the running gag again. But then you generally want to let it fall to the back again, and so forth and so on, right? There's a lot of math, believe it or not, that goes into humor. It's a whole study. It's fascinating to me. Listen, don't change the expression on your face. I know I'm dressed in this crappy girl outfit, but it's me, Kumatora. We met at the Sunshine Forest, remember? Yeah, I remember. I'll explain everything later. Put on a smile, will you? Okay, good. Okay, next DCMC song is about to begin. Please go and find some empty seats. Giggle. There's also the rule of 3 repeating is what they call that. I think it's the rule of 3 repeating is what they call that. There's also the rule of 3 repeating is what they call that. There's also the rule of 3 repeating is what they call that. There's also the rule of 3 repeating is what they call that. There's also the rule of 3 repeating is what they call that. There's also the rule of 3 repeating is what they call that. There's also the rule of 3 repeating is what they call that. There's also the rule of 3 repeating is what they call that. There's also the rule of 3 repeating is what they call that. There's also the rule of 3 repeating is what they call that. There's also the rule of 3 repeating is what they call that. There's also the rule of 3 repeating is what they call that. There's also the rule of 3 repeating is what they call that. There's also the rule of 3 repeating is what they call that. There's also the rule of 3 repeating is what they call that. There's also the rule of 3 repeating is what they call that. There's also the rule of 3 repeating is what they call that. There's also the rule of 3 repeating Yeah. Whistle, whistle. I can't whistle. Don't ask me. I love you, Magic. Baccio. Baccio. OJ. Woo. Zmiz, you're the greatest. Lucky. Thundergossa. In my line of sight is that man who's always at the beach. He's staring at me like he really likes me. I'm starting to think I could like him too. Suppose there's one guy who makes the whole world go round. No, I'm actually not sure if it's a guy or not. I guess it'd be a woman or even a kid. Okay. Lucky, the bass player, definitely looks a lot like Duster. I don't know, there's something different about him. Can't quite put my finger on it. Hope the encore starts soon. Oh, and after each concert, one of the girls here gives out free DCMC pamphlets. Whoa, a free pamphlet! See that scary-looking guy over there? Thought for sure he was our head honcho, but apparently there are people way, way higher up on the ladder than him. I've been wondering about that for a while now, but you know Lucky, the bass player? That totally has to be a wig. In my line of sight is that girl who's always at the beach. She's staring at me like she really likes me. I'm starting to think I could like her too. Well, let's see if I can find a seat. Maybe. Hello? How about over here? No? Yeah, what do you want? You smell like a dog. Like a dog and a kid. This ain't no place for dog-smelling kids to come. These front row seats belong to us. Stay away from here. You have some nerve. Ugh. Ew, you have such a hairy face. I hope you mean the dog. There we go. Apparently I had to talk to everyone first. Okay. Walking like this is exhausting. I'm sorry. What would you like to drink, sir? Giggle. You want water? Oh, hey there, Lucas. I was wondering who in the world would order water in a place like this. I mean, come on, water? Hey, Violet, baby. One fizzy soda for this here boy. And a big city cola for his dog-like friend. Put it on me, the great Thomas, of course. Certainly, sir. One fizzy soda instead of water, and one big city cola. Coming right up. Giggle. I never thought I'd see you here, Lucas. Here you are, gentlemen. Listen, but don't change the expression on your face. A lot I need to talk to you about after the concert's over. After it's over, don't leave. Hang out in the lobby. I'll be there to get you. See you later. Idiot. Don't change your expression. Enjoy yourselves. Giggle. Hey, Lucas. What are you and Violet talking about? I never knew you were such a ladies' man. Aren't I like 10? Look at his hair. Alright, here we go. Time to get copy-wronged. Looks like our time is up, sad to say. Here's one last song for you. King P's theme. And obviously it's a take on the pig army scene, because of course it is. But like I said, I'm probably going to give a music positive, or 2, or 8, or 15. We'll figure it out. My ears are ringing. Aw, poor dog. Wasn't that show just so great? It was so full of soul. How about a DCMC pamphlet as a souvenir of your visit? Sure. They're real popular with die-hard fans. You just scored yourself some nice swag. Giggle. This way, this way. It is, in fact, a weapon, which is much worse than mine. Speaking of which. Oh, I don't have it yet. Come on, hurry it up. This way. Okay. And am I really close to a level? Actually, I am. I'll go and fight that then. That secret passage is handy, but I always get covered in mud every time I use it. Not to mention that sticky junk from all those slugs. Ugh. I'm gonna hop in the shower real quick, so just relax here. Yeah, is there a vendor anytime soon? Yes, actually. So let's see if we can grab all our money. Which is not a lot. We're gonna grab it all. Somewhere or another I wound up with this fancy room. Have I go shower you two. There's even a hot spring if that's more your thing. No. You're exhausted and dirty, ain't you? The shower will freshen you right up. I know you want to hurry up and all, but come on, you guys reek. Go take a shower. How about you, doggy? Want me to shampoo you all up? Just take the damn shower already. Okay, God. After showering, the three conversed at great length, almost as if filling the 3-year gap that had separated them. They discussed the rescued monkey, the hummingbird from Osohe Castle, and how it went missing. They discussed the fact that one of the DCMC band members appears to be an amnesiac duster. And they discussed the mysterious army that had radically transformed Tazmily Village. As if assembling the jumbled pieces of a jigsaw puzzle, they told each other what they knew to put their thoughts together. The coming battle will not be easy. This, more than anything, they knew all too well. I want to be stronger. It was at this time Lucas truly began to have such feelings. Oh God, we're playing Kieran. And that's how I finally managed to sneak myself in here. We'll never find out what happened to the hummingbird egg until Duster regains his memory. At this rate, there's no telling when the pigs will get their hands on it. Lucas, see Duster and try talking to him. Maybe he'll remember something if he sees you too. There are guards outside. They're not exactly bad guys, but I want to risk making things more complicated. So kill them. Climb up the ladder. Go through the attic. Oh, okay. I'll get the members together. I need to explain the situation to them too. See you in a bit. Bye, Kumatora. Kumatora. Damn it. I always want to say W instead of M for some reason. I'm not even sure why. Squeak, squeak. Mice are greedy and love to collect things. Would you like to buy some of mine? Unfortunately, I can't afford the better stick, which is a damn shame, because I could really use that. Yeah. Even if I sold a bunch of stuff, I wouldn't be able to afford it. Oh well. Let's see here. Odd music. Well, let's find out, random. Let's find out later, random. Interacted! It's in the name. Okay, so... I just realized I'm probably scared to quack off. I'm sorry to quack. Come back. Come quack. Ow. Wow, that animation took so long, I had to just eat the damage, even though it was scrolling down. Be around, Loke. Have a good day at work. God dang it! That's the second time today that I've gone to use an item in combat, and the enemy's like, wait, hold on, I'm gonna paralyze you first before we use that item. And now we're poisoned. That... At least the bug spray works well. Okay, well, that hurt like hell, so let's try to recover a little bit. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Big City Fries? French fries with urban flair. Do I want to know? Ow. Microplastics. That's the Big City Flair, is the microplastics. And Boney's gonna die. Or stop at 1 HP. I could live with that. Let's cure our poison here. And ourselves, I suppose. Ah! And get something stuck in our eye. No, that's not a euphemism. Oh my god. Oh my god, come on. I think I got it. Ah! Yeah, I know, right, Rex? It's weird. We have a caster in the party and a second party member. Holy crap. It is funny how many RPGs, in general, like just across RPGdom, get better when you have a party. Action economy is a bit of a buzzword, but it's a very valid concept and something that really good games tend to be balanced around. Because so much of game design can boil down to what your what actions you can do when, right? Which is what that means. Okay, can I... Very close. Yep, we have healing magic, we have damage magic. Oh, we just got feverish, that's a good sign. Actually, yeah, FF10 is a pretty good example of that. Once you have your full spread, you're rocking it. Until then, it's like, I mean, it's not bad. At least FF10 does start you off with a full party of 3 as soon as you get out of the tutorial. Oh, man. Sorry, Mook, I was just remembering the stupid cave with the swarm bugs in him. Right at the beginning of Kingmaker. It's like the second quest you can run into. I've got enough for one more. Let's do it. Didn't they actually nerf that cave too because it was so bad? I mean, it really is like the second quest, so most new players are like, oh, hey, side quest, let's go do a side quest. Ah! Wonder how many runs ended right there. Yeah, so one thing that I always disliked a little bit about Earthbound is that, you know, Psy-Nuke, whatever you want to call it, isn't that great. It's not bad, it's just, it's a generic AoE, and that's it. Its main advantage is it hits everything, regardless of which row they're on. Whereas something like PK Fire only hits a specific row. But PK Fire is pretty much a better spell top to bottom. Here, this is a really nice spell. And really good at sweeping. No. Unfortunately, we're now out of mono and I could really use it. Do I have another... I have a bomb. Hey, Evo. Welcome back. Did you successfully avoid feeding the dog human food? We were just talking about Pathfinder Kingmaker and the Swarm Room from Hell. So I just noticed I missed something in the walkthrough, so I'm going to go back and try to grab it really quick. If I can. Let's try to run. Let's fail at running. Okay, it's very important. Run! Run! Surely there's a heal in here, right? Like, she mentioned the hot springs. Oh, we got the fever. We learned offense up. Nice. Oh, thank God. Okay, let's just heal up here. Let me take a bath with my dog. This is a huge bathroom. With a really tiny shower. So I'm just reading the walkthrough over here. Forgiveness. Ooh, a bomb. Excellent. Yes, Emperor Pork will walk up and be like, "You have failed me for the last time." And just, it's a whole thing, right? Okay, so let's give that to Boney. Give that to Boney. There we go. Let's leave these poor slugs alone. They've had enough of a day. And we should be able to afford this stupid stick now. I'm going to try for it. Yay! Money, money! Hang on. It's not going to tell me, so I want to see manually. So our offense right now is 54. And now it's 59. That's not as much of an upgrade as I was hoping for, but whatever. It is something, and I'll take it. Grab save. Okay, back to actually progressing through the dungeon now that we've done that. I was just looking. We have 5 usages of the big AoE if we wanted to use them. true, little Billy. I ain't complaining. In games like these, any kind of damage upgrade tends to be worthwhile, so... Ooh, okay. Speaking of, let's go ahead and blow one of those attacks right now. I better not have lost that item permanently, or I'm going to be a little mad. Because it just stole the saltwater gun that I just bothered to go and get. Wow, yeah, it's just gone. I just lost the saltwater gun. I'm actually gonna reload. I'm actually gonna reload that. It's awful. Wow. Like, I figured I'd get it back. So, something that games will do sometimes is, like, the enemy will steal something, and then they'll either try to run or something, right? Paper Mario did this, Final Fantasy VI did this. So if you kill them, you get your stuff back, right? I sort of figured I'd get my gun back at the end of the fight. Silly me. Also, I meant to mention this earlier, sorry. Going back to an earlier topic. If anybody has any specific disagreements with me about the review process, you're more than welcome to say, like, hey, I disagree with this. Like, that sounds stupid saying it that way, but I don't know how else to put it. Like, if my opinion or my work view or whatever cannot withstand criticism, then I don't really have it, right? Like, to put that into better terminology, if I can't defend my perspective, then I don't have it. Damn it, please don't poison me. Please don't poison me. Please don't poison me. Okay. Yeah, that's another example, Arspruce. I'm ready, Ross. Why do I hate joy? You see, when I was a child, I was bitten by a radioactive politician. And they gave me politician powers. I don't know. I became politics man. Radioactive politicians. I mean... Uh-oh. Uh-oh. No, 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 no. Oh, jeez. And... okay. Okay, we're gonna blow some big stuff on this. And not kill anything. Oh, wow. Yep, a chunk of the destroyed planet Polemic crashed down on my head as a meteorite. Everyone thought it killed me, but it gave me superpowers. I would say no, Ross. I will freely admit that there are some cases where I kind of grudgingly give positives or negatives because I'm leaning one way or the other. But they still happen. Hi, Zar. right? Like, I still give negatives to Pokemon Violet, even though I was enjoying myself tremendously. In fact, I give a lot of negatives to that game. And I still give positives to games that I am not enjoying, because they deserve them. If you're saying, have I completely removed all bias from myself, I'm going to go with no. Like, that's not possible. But I do work very hard at it. Yeah, exactly. No one's without bias. I just do the best I can to speak regardless. I literally have hundreds of examples of games I've covered where I can prove that I have done my due diligence at trying to remove as much of my bias as possible from the final score. Water. I need water. Yeah, there's water. So you're right. I am not excited about Expedition 33. It looks... so there's two reasons. And you know what both of them are. I've already mentioned them before. So I'm going to give it infinite negatives the moment I walk in. Thousands upon thousands of negatives. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. No! Ow. That was an AoE attack that hit for 30. That's true. Expedition 33. Oh, no. Oh, hurt like hell. The Rabid fandom and unearning praise is definitely one of those two things. Like, I've already seen some interesting interactions about that. Hello? Eh? Is that you, Alfie? Where you been with... Oh my god. Where have you been with this... What? You didn't come by off New Year's or crack a night, so your grandmom and I have been old Jack, so watch ya. You must be bleeding and morphing, huh? Here's some of the bread for you. Why don't you show your jam here more? Oi, Alfie, it's been donkeys, China. One to rabbit it us. Oh my god. One to rabbit us out of some more bees. Is that it? Ah, that's Kevin. The old pot ain't using the bugs, but mum's me to dicky. We've been waiting a bloody long time, and all Pat with you. Oh my god, hang on. This is hard to read. We've been waiting a bloody long there, arid lime and Pat with you in your Toblerone. Oh god. Okay, moving on. Oh, my empathy went up. I know, Ross, and I know you don't understand, and I know you don't care, and that's fine on both accounts. I don't enjoy the process of giving negatives to a beloved game. I know that's... You're just like, but no, I really do not enjoy that process. It's one of the reasons why so many of the games in the Beloved Classic block were there, and I just wanted to get them over with, because I was dreading playing all of those games, specifically because of how... how much I don't like giving negatives to games that people love. Please? Oh my god. That was not worth the time and effort. That is quite possible, Ross, which leads me to the second reason I'm not looking forward to that run. Can you guess the second reason I'm not looking forward to that run? Yeah. It's a very depressing game, by all accounts. So anyways, let's try that again. No! No! God damn it! Run! Is that the boss, or is that just a new trash mob? Hello? Excuse me? Hello? As you can plainly see, I am a wooden base. I'm still in my prime. But ever since the base below showed up, I've been left to rot in this moldy, smelling attic. I'm filled with so much frustration. I'm going to turn this frustration into violence and take my stress out on you guys. You're going to be bawling your eyes out. Okay. So let's do, Ow. Ow. Ow! Jesus Christ. 3 hard-hitting mobs in 1 round. This is fun. Okay. We're dead. I can't even move and we're dead. Wow. Okay. Oh, hang on. Yes, I'm extremely bigoted against French people, as Dream Whisperer could tell you. And I understand that Savicum, but like most people, near as I can tell, do not seem to think that way. Right. Oh God. Yeah, Lechonk. If the words, if Expedition 33 is like, I don't know, random example, Requiem for a Dream, then I need to veto that immediately. When do I tend to end stream? It actually varies quite a bit based on real life. There's no planned dinner for tonight, so I'm just going to end whenever I feel like it tonight. I was kind of hoping to at least get past this. Okay, let's give those to Boney. Let's go and dump my money in here, since I should have done that earlier. I accept. No, the other direction. How do I... Oh, god dang it, there. I hope not, but we might end up grinding a little bit for this one. The walkthrough I was just glancing at flat out stated, make sure you know how to combo in this fight, because if you don't, you're going to have a hard time. And it's like, yay. That's great. Speaking of. God, those AoE attacks are just ridiculous. And Boney is dead. Good God! I bothered to get the new weapon, too. Oh, Boney's dead. Guess I'll go die. So I can res Boney. Here, kill me, please. Also, I'm sorry, who's wrong about what, Mook? You mentioned earlier, I think you're wrong. Who's wrong? Yeah, we've got a bit of a run-back problem. It's not the worst run-back in the world. It's not Silksong, but, Now, you know a game whose run-backs pissed me off? Sekiro. Oh, gotcha. So, okay, that's valid. And you're right, Lord knows I do hear plenty of nonsense and tend to be more memorable because people who tend to like this stuff probably don't say anything. It's a very, very common, I'm going to say this way, problem with human psychology. When things are fine, we don't tend to say anything because things are fine. You don't say, man, this burger sure is good. I don't remember Dark Souls 1's runbacks that well, Razar. I remember Sekiro's. Pretty distinctly. Yeah, Elden Ring was a good step forward for the runback. Elden Ring improved a lot of issues, actually, from the whole formula. And I'll take that move, because that's the first positive thing I've heard about those runs. I have been told that those are the worst streams I've ever done. God dang it. That's a good question, Savagam. Hang on, let's go look at the review document for a second. Let's see. Yes. 2 of those world negatives haven't actually happened yet. I just jotted them down to remind myself for later. And then 3 negatives were for the padding of Chapter 1, 2, and 3, because they're just too long, right? They're just too long. It's okay, I'll be depressed for you, Ross. And in this game, we will learn about how life is secretly pointless. And we are all powerless to do anything to save ourselves, and therefore should immediately commit suicide. Because we are fascists who are secretly Hitler. Reality will crush you. Yeah, pretty much so. What I think is my worst streams today? Well, I always point to the FF15 stream. It was a long freaking time ago and still counts. It's not even on YouTube anymore. You can't find it anymore. Other than that, worst streams I've ever done. No, the Halo streams were fine. They were just horrible for me, but they were fine as far as streams go. I usually tend to bring up the Mario Maker stream as well, but that's unrelated. Hey, DeQuack's back. Post Oblivion? Oh god, that Mario Tennis stream. But no, like, worst, like, putting out a bad product. In other words, has nothing to do with the game, just whether or not I did a good stream or not. So let's see here. We've got, let's see. Worst products I've put out. Yeah, but we're going for worst declared. Like, accidentally dropping my controller. Ah. Now, if you think the Kingdom Hearts ones were the worst, then that's totally valid. Honestly, I didn't do a really good job of surviving Mars. I've actually thought about just mentally auditing that one, and by mentally I mean allocating dealer's choice to auditing that one, because I just didn't do it the thorough justice it probably deserved. Oh my god, we made it. Okay, hang on. I'm up to 2022 now, so I'm going through the list here. Yeah, like whether or not the stream itself is enjoyable is really the point here. And whether or not I did a good job showcasing the game in question. Wow, they only partially fixed stuff in the resale? Jeez Louise. It's not even like a remaster, is it? It's just a port. I think. I haven't looked into it. I'm going off of like third-party information. You see, Age of Empires 1, I'm going to be a little defensive. I don't think I did a bad job with that. I actually am rather pleased with how that stream came out. It was also a fascinating insight into level design, AI design, and how to work with limited tools in order to make something good, and how they didn't. I'm up to 2023 now. I did lose a friend over one of these. Chaos Gate Demon Hunter. So yeah, like for example, two people mentioned Dragon Age Inquisition. I'm going to push back against that. I don't think I did a particularly bad stream there, personally. Especially considering how much of that I took off camera, specifically so you wouldn't have to deal with it. So I don't think that was a bad stream. That is step one, Zavagom. Up to 2024 now. Hmm. I suppose you could argue my Yume Nikki streams weren't particularly good. I'll accept that. Halo Reach? Halo Reach. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to, like, tilt that tone so much, but, like, Halo Reach was awesome. And that was I thought that was a great stream. It's my favorite Halo game on top of everything else. And, like, I was just like, yeah, the whole time through. Oh, you know what? Best stream, The Giving Place. Wait, no. Worst stream, The Giving Place. No, I've got it. Worst stream of the year. Shantae 6. No, I'm done. I'm done. Honestly, okay, real talk, I'm a little bit embarrassed by the Quake 2 stream. That's the closest thing I've seen on this list to a stream I'm a little bit, like, on. And the reason why is because, God, there was just nothing to talk about. Thank God it was a short game. Because there was just so little to discuss or analyze. Every now and again there was. Every now and again I could pause and just stop and, like, okay, let's talk this and talk this. And let's showcase this. But, like, to compare and contrast, in Quake 1, we could spend several minutes on, like, a single room really discussing and analyzing what they were doing and why. And that was awesome. And then Quake 2 was not that. Okay, so boss time. I even went back to Quake 1 to do more due diligence on that because, you know, it's me. Okay, so... It's true, Blade Travel. That's true. I'm actually really proud of the Quake 1 stream, unironically. I'm happy with that one. Jesus Christ, did you see that attack? I wasn't even thinking about the MMOs. I think I nailed all the MMOs, I'm sorry. I'm very proud of those. STO, Tor, Guild Wars 2, FF14, and WoW. Please don't hit Boney. Please don't hit Boney. Please don't... Oh, okay, Boney's dead. Thankfully, I already had queued up that life up. Jeez Louise. Okay, okay. Okay, I have another bomb. I have 2 more bombs, actually. Oh, thank God. And I'm dead. Wow! I just... What? And its offense went up by 23. Because I killed the guys I was letting it do 4 attacks a round. Yeah, what am I supposed to do about this? Okay, so we're just going to die, because I have no ability to res. And there's no way Boney could solo the rest of this fight. Hopefully I'll get all of my resources back, because, you know, I just blew several bombs on that fight. Yeah, no kidding, little Billy. Jeez. Okay, do I have my stuff back? No. So items spent stay gone. Right. So hang on. Let's just reload a save. Is oof. So about them cheats. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of cheats that even exist for this game. Like I said, the leveling cheat doesn't work, so the only cheat I know of that might work, and this is from PAX, because he used this cheat to get through this game, is the combo cheat, which makes it so that all of your attacks are full 16 combos. No, that's pretty normal, Sadako. Now, this boss might be a negative. Good God. Okay, so let's hit with all the AoEs that we have. Please? Nope, he's going to do that. Look at that. 37, 32, 21, 30. That's about 100 damage he gets to do every round until I knock out his support. Good God. And then as soon as I knock out his support, he just buffs his attack power by 23. Okay, let's see if we can, like, recover a little bit now. So let's heal. Keep throwing bombs at him. Actually, no. Let's recover. Yeah, let's do this. Oh no, Mr. Red. No, no! That makes me sad. Of course he has an AoE attack. Why wouldn't he have an AoE attack? Okay, let's buff Yay Old Day offense. And then get right back to healing. Because he can AoE, and I can't. Sure, Mr. Red. Yeah, definitely. Haven't been able to get a single freaking combo this entire time. I've been trying each attack. Each attack I've been trying. Ugh. Oh, heal, 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 heal. Oh, jeez. Please. Okay. Rolling health is a great mechanic. Always has been. Okay, now we heal, because that hurt like hell. Well, let's see if the dog likes cheese. Well, dog does not like cheese. Good to know. And Lucas is asleep. Thankfully, I put this on Boney a long time ago, specifically for this fight. Jeez, that's Boney's dead. Boney's dead. Okay. Oh my God. Get a little bit of salt. That'll help your body process it better, Mr. Red. Yeah, that was extremely close to being a fail state. By the way, Boney, once again, doesn't get experience from the boss. I know it was actually salsa last time, but oh my god. I don't actually remember a little bit like. What took you so long? You... Anyways, I just finished explaining everything to the band members. I'm going to save for no particular reason. Because, you know, that was a hell fight from hell. Who are you? He's the one I was talking about just now, Duster. You two know each other. Duster? Sure, I don't even remember my real name. But I've lived my life as Lucky for years now. Okay, alright, Lucky. Hate to ask, but could you tell him everything you remember too? Alright. I can only tell something's very important is taking place here. I had absolutely no memory whatsoever before I came to Club Titibu. I had no idea who I was, where I came from, or where I was going. But for some reason I was clutching a strange egg with great care. I didn't know where I was going yet. Yet I continued to walk desperately. All I knew was that the egg was really important for some reason. I knew I absolutely had to keep it safe. So I looked for a place to hide it. Then after walking and walking, I buried the egg inside a big dirt clod in a valley where I knew no one would ever find it. I still know where it is. I haven't forgotten. You up against a cliff near a giant waterfall and... Unknown Valley. That's it, Duster. The egg we all worked so hard to protect is there. Let's go right now. But am I really Duster? If I am this Duster person, that means I'll have to leave behind the band, right? Duster or Lucky, one of them will cease to exist after today. Right? Turns out I'm Duster. What happens to the DCMC? If I can live as Lucky, what happens to the egg? What should I do? I can't decide. Of course you can. All you can do is ask Destiny. Yeah. If Destiny decides, I'll say goodbye to you with a smile on my face. Destiny, huh? Yeah, let's ask Destiny. Yeah, okay, yeah, Stone sheet clippers. Yeah, it's rock, paper, scissors. Or Rochambeau, if you prefer. This Lucas fellow will play stone sheet clippers with us. If he beats 5 of us in a row, you'll go. If he loses even once, he'll stay in the band and keep playing on the bass. 5 in a row, I'm cool with that. You there. You look okay with that, right? Alright. Time to play Rochambeau to decide the fate of the world. Bye. Oh, okay. Well, never mind then. I always wound up tying whenever I play Stone Sheet Clippers with Shimmy. The luck is with me. I do like the little hints. You ready, Uthor? Rochambeau. I want to trust in destiny. If it's my destiny to go, then I'm sure he'll win. And if it's not my destiny... Okay, this is a good example of what I mean by them, like, running the words into the ground. Like, this is supposed to be a gag. We're gonna trust destiny! And it's just rock, paper, scissors, right? And that's it. Okay, that's funny. Could you stop making that point? Over and over and over again? Please and thank you. Let's see. So we're putting that towards Jedi Fallen Order, Jedi Survivor, Cyberpunk, and funny thing, he dead, Uthor. Spoilers. Anyways. Lucas, do Clippers. I'm gonna do Sheet.
Ready, set, go!
So this is destiny. I guess Lucky probably is this Duster guy after all. Go, don't worry about anything else at all. I think Duster hid the egg in the Unknown Valley, which means I have no reason to stay here more either. So, time to get out of these girl clothes. Thanks for everything, guys. Take care now. Bye. Out of my way, damn it. Actually, she is also dead, yes. Lucky. No, Duster, I guess. You were the greatest bass player ever. I'm gonna miss you, man. Hope we meet again someday. I'm sure we will. Don't go forgetting the time you spent with us now, you dig? Lucky. Okay, bye. I still don't remember anything, but I'll come with you guys anyway. Let's go. Yeah, Kumatora would beat my ass. So, I'm curious why you say they couldn't prove anything, Elazar. Sure, the legal system doesn't have precedence for things like magic. But, like, it's actually really easy to prove that Kira was guilty. After all, they did it several times in the show. I took care of the bodyguards. Thanks, Kumatora. Let's go. Yay! My resident mage. Other than me, I suppose. Oh my god, does that mean... I have a party. Oh my god. I'm in shock. If they can't prove it, how do they know it's him, Elazar? Your premise is flawed. If they know it's him, they can prove it, and therefore they can arrest him. Yeah, like, fiction likes to treat it as though you need some kind of physical smoking gun or hard evidence to secure a conviction. We use the term circumstantial evidence, but, like, the problem is circumstantial evidence is often all we have in real life. We don't have, like, super amazing security, which is infallible in real life. There's a reason why the overwhelming majority of evidence in real life is testimony. Bon voyage, amigo. Oh, guy in the sky, please grant a gift to our friend who's about to set out. How much time we wasted laughing together. But guy in the sky, oh how we loved that wasted time and those helpless smiles. Bon voyage, amigo. So I guess here's a flashback of Duster learning the bass for some reason. As usual with Japanese media, hair change equals significant character change. So he takes off the wig. Sorry to keep you waiting. Let's go to Unknown Valley. Which I don't actually know where that is. And that was chapter 4. With one noticeable irritation, that was a lot better than chapters 1 through 3. Yeah, it didn't feel dragged out. No padding, no pacing issues. No slog, no irritation, just... What was the name of this stupid thing? Jealous Base, that was it. I am giving that fight a negative. That fight was stupid. Oh, right, right. Oh, hey, there's our lightning gun, by the way. Remember to get your happy box. There should be a big hole in the ground straight north of here. I think I went through it and hid the egg somewhere on the other side. So let's get to that area first. Hang on, hang on, hang on. This is a very strange party. Why is the dog still standing upright? That's actually a good question. Actually, I do need something. Actually, yeah, Elazar. That's true with a lot of fiction, though. So I don't read too much into that. Sure. But if you're going to tell me to go to Adogi? Sohi Castle, I'm going to do that anyways. Alright, what do we got here? So I'm not going to buy the shoes, for obvious reasons. Let's see. I appreciate it, though. Sorry, I don't mean to sound dismissive. It's a good tip, because nothing would have told me that otherwise. I just happen to have already read ahead of the walkthrough a little bit. Just to make sure I don't miss things like that. I think that's it. I think we're good. Okay, so why not shoes? Well, let's see if we can figure out how to navigate, shall we? Who keeps putting these lit fireworks in presents? I just realized I'm gonna have to walk there, aren't I? Let's put it like a backup save over here. In case I decide this is not a thing I want to do. Excuse me, I'm gonna have to run back. Oh, whoops, this is the wrong way. I'm done. I was on the other side for some reason. That would be funny, and by funny I mean horrible, if I cannot take the train. Right out in a second. 50 DP, huh? Okay, so he says I'm lying if I say I'm a factory worker, despite everything. So we get to walk. This really better be worth it. This is exclusive to Chapter 5, before you ask. Like, this is going away after we finish Chapter 5. Get Do you want to spend 10,000 money? No. Yeah, I turned to the GM. I want to punch this guy in the face. Reality has crushed me. Oh, you meant in the game. No, in the game I'm fine. I can't believe they didn't aggro me there. What the heck? That... Oh. Okay. I guess that makes up for it. Where am I? Oh, I'm not even there yet. Hi, Morganite. Man, imagine if we had like a teleport ability at this point of the game. Wouldn't that be great? Let me think about that. So we got teleport after Foreside, right? Because like after Foreside... Well, no, it was before we finished Foreside, right? Because we go to the desert and we do the Monkey Cave, and part of the Monkey Cave is getting access to Monopoly Tower. So it's like towards the end of Foreside. That's actually a good question, Little Billy. I'm going to ask the crowd. What do you think? Do you prefer it in the FFs, where like the whole party just kind of vanishes inside of you? Or do you prefer it where you can actually see the lineup, like you can in this game, or Earthbound, or Chrono Trigger, or most Dragon Quests? A lot of PlayStation games do that too. See, when you first asked the question, my first thought was to be confused, because I've never even considered it, really. But I think in hindsight, you know, when I'm chewing on it for a bit, I think I prefer to see the lineup. Remind me what Dragon Quest IX does, Rex. It's been a minute. Gotcha. Yeah, because some of these games have that issue where... In fact, we covered a game recently. Was that Xenogears or Chrono Cross? Where the person in the back of the line could be aggroed, which meant it was almost impossible to avoid combat. In fact, you would actually be at a negative if you tried to avoid combat. I mean, it has no gameplay impact. But yeah, I think I prefer the lineup. I think I prefer being able to see the party. And hearing Steiner going as he walks around. This is a hell of a trip. My God, we are still going. Congrats, Uthor. What do you think of the last boss who came out of absolutely nowhere with no real foreshadowing or build-up whatsoever? Great fight, for whatever that's worth. Okay. Yeah, we still haven't gotten the auto-resolve thing yet. You're supposed to do it while sprinting, which, if you're paying attention, is exactly what I was just doing. Poor Mr. Nippolite. Apparently, lightning struck his house 14 times over the course of 3 years. Yep. Oh, Lucas, your old man's always visiting Hinawa's grave. Yeah, gee, duh. Learned paralysis. Yep, no one's growing food anymore, because why would they? I mean, the music was badass, so that's something. And let's be clear, that were badass music. Yeah, we're getting a really nice weapon for Duster here. Hopefully. This is an optional boss. We might have some issues with it, considering how much trouble we just had with a boss fight. God dang it. Okay, so we're going to do a save here, because it might not be worth our time. Yep. No. This is what artistic know-nothings like you get. Okay. The difference? I'm sorry. Oh, definitely Mango. Mango, Ross. So here's the thing, Eleazar. You might not know this, but in fiction, they want the people to be caught. And they still don't get caught, because they want them to be caught at the right time. Or, conversely, they don't want them to be caught at all. So they conveniently ignore all of the aspects of evidence and procedural design that exist. Or procedure, not procedural design. Procedure that exists with regards to legal matters. Like... I don't even know where to start with that. I'm sorry. I'm just going to move on from that question, because I don't actually know where to start with that. So let's do... offense up. I want you to use the Scary Mask. I want you to do offense down as well. And I want you to just guard. Didn't work, of course. There's one offense down. I didn't think I would like Kuze, but yeah. He grew on me. And then I want you to do another Scary Mask, and then I want you to do another offensive down, and you keep guarding. Oh, those AoEs. I've decreased his offense twice, too. 3 times now. Which is good, because that's as much as I wanted to do with. we start lowering his defense. And healing. Because we're on the verge of death. Like you do. Okay. Okay, so that's all our buffs and all our debuffs. Let's go and get a little healing going on. Let's lower his defense. Wait, hang on. Let's make him cry. There we go. Let's do that instead. That's a much better usage of our time. Okay, so he has lowered accuracy, lowered attack 3 times, and lowered defense twice. I think we're ready to start the boss fight now. Jeez Louise. Okay, so attack, attack, PK fire, and attack. Oh, stop trying to kill my dog. I know he's lower level because he keeps dying on boss fights. It's starting to escalate, you'll notice. As in, he's starting to spiral. Okay. Just kind of keeping on here. Yeah, I know, right? Just Rob TV. And that's your full name, Just Rob TV. I have to say the whole name each time. No excuses. What's funny is I'm pretty sure he has more HP here, too. But, you know, we have 4 party members now. I've been trying to combo him this entire time. But I can't say just Rob. Of course he hits Boney. Of course he hits Boney. How much HP does this asshole have? Oh my gosh. Okay, hold up. Yeah, did you notice the music keeps changing, which changes the combo? This, I believe, is the second time they've screwed with us with the music. Yeah, me too, a little bit. Like, you'd think they would lean into that, right? What? Oh god, little Billy, that's actually valid, yeah. Oh, she's finally out of mana. And dead. Holy shkamoly. I say, did Boney get a level out of that? Yes. Oh, thank God. Hey, Retro Justice. I am sorry you are sick. You know what isn't sick is these boots. So yeah, these are really nice boots. They increase our HP by 15, our offense by like a crap ton, our IQ, and our speed. These were probably worth the effort. Why are those weapons? Well, you see, because he has a injured foot, naturally he attacks by kicking things. I don't know. Don't ask me. Yeah, do you see that 114? You also notice Duster got a surprise attack just because his speed was that high. Not yet, Mr. Red. I'm not sure we ever do, actually. That's another thing that can make a character a bad character. Make an asshole and never give them any kind of comeuppance. Oh, you could do worse than that. Make an asshole and make them right. Make the game portray it as if they are in the right for being such a dickhead. Basically, Archer. I don't know what Sterling has to do with Archer. I'm referring to a character from Star Trek Enterprise, specifically. What's the Sterling thing from? Yeah, Acolyte characters. I was not a big fan of Acolyte. So can I take the tram there? Oh, gotcha. Still wants to overcharge me. Yep, no, okay. Yeah, Archer never actually got his comeuppance. He just got to be a better character, which I suppose is nice, but, you know, not quite the same thing. That's exactly, Rex. I figured since I did work part-time, I counted as a factory worker. Obviously not. What did the internet say Acolyte was? Because I was not a fan of Acolyte. Wait, did I say Acolyte? Sorry, I haven't seen Acolyte. My bad. No, I was referring to Ahsoka. Sorry, the other A show. Oh, hey, we just had our first instant speed kill. Did you see that? Holy cramoly. Okay, so just the usual nonsense. Got it. Cool. I stand by my statement that Ahsoka was not a good show. My God, I hated that show. Adira? Adira. Help me out. Ah! Yeah, actually, yeah. That is a good example. Can I name a funny asshole? Yeah, Pax. He's not here to hear that, so it's not as funny as it could be, but it's still true. I know that doesn't help you. Let's see. Funny dickheads in fiction. Don't worry about it, loser. I think so, yeah, Rex. We did just boost his speed by like 10. Decker? Eh. He's more of a braggart than an asshole. I know those two drift into each other. Yeah, if Archer's the show I'm thinking of, it is animated. Yeah, Jolie Bindo's actually a pretty good example. Cantankerous old man variety, but still counts. Depending on the writer, Han can drift into that, speaking of Star Wars. Bender's an interesting case because he can sometimes be that. And then other times, he's just an asshole. Like, sometimes he's a little bit too Homer Simpson. Oop, oop, oop. This way, I think. I would also go with, oh god, Eugene when he's written better. Opposed to Eugene when he's not. Honestly, I'm kind of leaning towards agreeing with you, Rex. I can't believe I'm agreeing with Rex. My god, can you believe that? Oh, jeez, Morganite. That's awful. That's so terrible. No offense to anyone who likes asshole Homer. Really. I am not one of those people. Hey, look, we can sell stuff now. Thank God they added capitalism. Okay. Hmm. Let's go ahead and at least get to the next section. I think we'll call it there, though. I still need to think about dinner. God, what is with all the chimeras? Don't answer that question. I know the answer to that question. It's a Kanga shark. We've been giving answers for like 10 minutes, Elizar. I'm not repeating all that. Or rewind the VOD 10 minutes. Speaking of chimeras, whatever the hell that is. Duster is hitting twice as hard as all the other characters down, by the way. No. I don't think Catcher would qualify. Anyone hyped for Super Mario Galaxy, the movie? Yes, he can go back to being a dog now. Poor dog. I thought the same thing earlier, just Rob. Yeah, here we go. Whole look just like this. But... Oh, great. Let's just jump down them at random. Uh-huh. So, I am not looking forward to the new Mario film. I'll go to admit that. I'm also probably not going to watch it, like, at all. So, I hope it is good. I am turbo not looking forward to the Zelda movie. There's no way that's going to be good. Why is it so important to fill the ground with holes? Why can't we just go around and stay as ground and holes stay as holes? I think ground and holes can exist side by side. That's why I'm not digging and saying dig, dig, dig constantly. Lazy, lazy, lazy. Yeah, the Zelda movie is gonna suck. It's oof. It'd be nice if it was a good film. Nothing I have seen so far, and I have looked into it, has indicated it's going to be a good film. I look forward to being wrong. Honestly, now I just stepped on some sunglasses. Why doesn't anyone ever tidy up like they should? I even tripped on helmets, because no one ever puts anything away like they should. Honestly, now, moles these days. Ugh. Legend. Oh yeah, no, it's gonna be very mediocre. Not mid, mediocre. You know, it's gonna be green, to use my own terminology. As for Mario Galaxy, I'm pretty sure that will be a film that will be very Illumination. So if you happen to like Illumination films, then there's a pretty good chance you will enjoy that film. Do you like Marvel? That is an extremely broad question. Could you narrow that down a little bit more? Do you mean Miss Marvel? Do you mean Captain Marvel? Do you mean Marvel? The fact that they put Chris Pratt for frickin' Mario. I know it's something the internet jumped on, and I don't care because I have my own opinion on that, regardless of the internet. What kind of brain-dead decision was that? He is famous. Something called sushi appeared to be in a dream. What is sushi? Do you know? Our world's really small, so there's not a lot we don't know about. I don't know why, but the thought of sushi kind of excites me. It must be good stuff. Yeah, Chris Pratt is not a particularly good actor or voice actor. He's not bad. He's just not good. He's also not a voice actor. You'll notice pretty much everyone else involved in that film is, in fact, a voice actor. Be great, played well. Yes, please stop expanding your mole hole. Thank you. A character would be nice, Elizar. You know how we don't know reality? Sorry, that sounds like an open-ended question. Let me try this again. So you know how there are things that we have no capacity to know or understand, right? A good one would be nice, Elizar. It would be interesting to note if casting, basically, we cast Chris Pratt as Mario, and then like come up with two statistics. How many people did we lose because of that casting? You know, how many sales tickets? How many people were less interested in the film? And how many people were more inclined to see it because it was Chris Pratt? And just compare those two side by side. Of course, we do not have access to reality. There are no judges in real life, so who frickin' knows? But it would be interesting, right? Also, Keanu Reeves is actually a voice actor and actually does voice acting. So, unlike Chris Pratt. Alright, It looks like the correct hole.
You have tape.
Tape?
You had tape. You had packing tape in here the other day. You tried to hand it to me.
Oh god, I have no idea where it is now. It's gone. Why is
You
this?
get to hold on to these until you find tape.
But why?
Because the stickers won't come out.
Oh. Okay, that's a valid answer. I would say if the tape's right back there, that would be actually a pretty logical place for it to be.
Yeah.
There or in the cubby holes. Oh, check the green bag. Check the green bag.
The green bag is on the floor.
I know, and I'm sorry. Yes, this fine.
Any idea how far away the floor is? There's
Yes.
duct tape in here.
Nice.
Duct tape might work.
Aw. Well, see you around, Evo. But behold.
No.
No, behold. Never mind.
I will not behold.
There's
I
tape. See?
refuse to behold.
Someone would like to know if you were hyped for the new Mario movie.
There's a new Mario movie?
That is your answer.
Okay. I need your help.
Wait, what do you need?
I need you to hold.
Alright, hang on. This is...
This is a thing that I saw on TikTok,
Oh. Yeah, my sister watches TikTok. I'm very sad about that, too.
but it doesn't work.
Of course it doesn't work. You saw it on TikTok. I know, there are some legitimate things on TikTok. You... Look, it peeled... It's just the paper now.
Let's try it on the bottom one.
Okay.
Flip it upside down.
Let me hold the damn thing.
Stop trying to hold it by the glass.
No. I was trying to hold it by the thing, and you kept, like, pulling it out of my grip.
You weren't. You were grabbing it down here.
So I could grab it by the middle part.
Okay, well that part kind of worked.
Sort of worked.
Worked better than in the cup.
That's true.
Mm.
Well,
I didn't have it. It was at a weird angle, so I wasn't able to get both of the...
oh, I'm aware of that, Van Falkenstein.
What are they talking about?
How bad TikTok's been getting lately.
There's actually a YouTube short, which isn't any better.
Which isn't any better, no. I
Okay.
did, Kennex Cow. Do you mind repeating, please?
Fine.
Okay, you want to try this one? No.
No.
I
Done trying. Now, if you want to know the actual trick to doing this, use a hairdryer to
yeah.
heat it.
Smell the glue. I'm a winner.
You saw the message.
So if I was forced, yes, to make it, and I had to try and make it good, would I do a movie or a show for Zelda? Show. Easy. 100%. Long form storytelling is just better for something like that. Thanks, Mr. Ed. I'm rocking the tape. It's
It started raining, so we didn't get to finish the leaves.
Yeah, I noticed the rain, and that it was raining hard too. She was out doing the leaves with the littlest and doing some good work, getting a lot done, and apparently having fun with it. And then,
I was using a leaf blower.
sploosh. You should have seen the littlest. She had her broom.
But no, she had. So my husband recently bought a dog pooper
Oh,
rake and dustpan,
I thought, okay.
and that's what that was.
Hey, look,
Is that a shark with kangaroo
it's a
legs?
kanga shark.
What the hell are you playing?
That is a good answer. Was leaf jumping happening into?
No, we didn't finish making the piles. The dog, however, had all of the zoomies because, yeah. But we didn't finish making the pile because it started raining, and I didn't want the leaf pile to be a gigantic pile of wet, soggy, because that doesn't ever dry out if it's a pile. Can you go in the hole?
Yeah, I'm trying to find the correct hole, which is
Not that.
this one, actually.
Is that a?
It's a reconstructed lion.
It's an octolion?
Yeah.
A lion toe?
I don't know what you'd call this. Guys, what do we call this thing? Thank you, Rex. I'll take that. It's the demiurge. No, Rex is right there.
Okay, I'm running away.
A lionate. It's a lionate.
Okay.
It's an abomination.
I am attempting food. No, he's barking.
So, how do I look? Keeping in mind, I have not seen myself. Okay, I'll come eat dinner. I'm not going to eat the kitty cat, though. I'm going to take a break. Let's play a game. Try to guess the word I'm thinking of. I think word that starts with M and rhymes with hole. Wait, that's too easy. Let's do it over. The word I'm thinking of starts with an H and rhymes with mole. Never mind, I'm not very good at this game. Break time's over. Back to work. Once upon a time, there was a lazy mole who lived in a hole. This mole would never dig on his own. Instead, he would stand by holes that others dug and say, dig, dig, dig. What happened to that mole, you ask? No, I don't know the story very well. Oh, now I remember. He lived happily ever after. The end. Yeah, this is it. I hid the egg inside that mud figure. You mean a Clayman? Yes, it's still here. Duster, you okay? Nah, he's fine. He just got hit by lightning. Yeah, I'm fine. Was that lightning just now? That was close. Took off with the egg. Of course it did. Oh, and so while we're doing this slow pan, saw a couple questions there. How to handle each season of the Zelda series? Honestly, I like a slow burn. I also admit my opinion on that has been more solidified by modern television. So rather than doing like a 10 episode season with like really amazing graphics, let's do a 20 episode season where we can take some time to frickin' breathe. How's that sound? And reduce the overall quality effects a little bit so we could spend more of that money on the actual people involved in the creation of the show and making it a better show instead of a prettier show. Can we do that? Hate to be an old man here, but for real, I kind of preferred it when television was good. Animated. It's Zelda. We're doing animation. I like how he's still moving backwards, by the way. Never mind this crap. We have to catch that thing quick. So, there's a lot of places you could start, but I'm actually with Mr. Red. I think going ahead... Oh, does Link talk? Let me come back to that. I think starting it off with a low-tier, like, adventure. Nothing even really big or serious. Possibly not even something technically connected to whatever the main plot is, right? Just have it be its own little thing. And it's all about character establishment, establishing the rules of the setting, and establishing the world, and probably doing at least a few little tidbits and hints of where the story is eventually going to be going, right? Yeah, starter adventure. Knowing me, I would probably go ahead and add at least a few hints of, like, whatever is going on in the background. But it's in the background, right? And I would terminate the first season after. So I would have the conclusion of that adventure probably be about the 2/3 part through the season, right? So we terminate the adventure, and then there's several episodes of follow-through, right? We've done the adventure, we've come back home, we've established our status quo, now we start to end it. And at the end of season 1, we go ahead and have a major status quo change, which would probably be the plot coming in and beating Link over the head, because that's probably what's going to happen, right? I mean, Twilight Princess, but like the general idea is that the getting dragged into the Twilight Realm, like that kind of an event, wouldn't actually happen until the end of this first season. Not literally. I don't mean like, do Twilight Princess. Jesus, that hurts. Do Twilight Princess. I mean just that kind of a thing, right? And yeah, I agree that building up Ganondorf in the background is something that should be done. New story, completely new story. Don't adapt one of the games. Don't even try. I think it would be a mistake to even attempt that. Damn it, Rex! No! No! And then second season would be... I'm not sure how many seasons I'd go for. That's the catch. Let's aim for 3. So the second season would be trying to deal with... I'm going to use a parallel rather than a literal. Something like Ocarina of Time's Kid Dungeons, right? It's still pretty much just a local-ish kind of adventure, but it's just much more connected to the main plot, and we learn a lot more about the specifics of Zelda, Ganondorf, nearby nations, you know, some of the more specifics of the Triforce. You know, raise the stakes a noticeable step, but only go up one additional step. And spend a lot of Season 2 really developing the character. Season 2, if we're doing the 3-season arc, is where you really want to flesh out the individuals involved. I want the viewers to know who like, that random dude is in Kakariko who's dancing up front, right? That's the kind of thing that I would be working on in a Season 2. Season 2, towards the end of Season 2, we'd have the big shift. And then Season 2 would end on, again, metaphorically, future Hyrule, right? Then Season 3, that's your big one. That's when you officially drive the stakes up, and you have a major you know, oh god, oh god, oh god, kind of a thing. All of the establishment has already been done. The setting's been built, the characters are built, the plot is developed. We know what the threat is. Season 3 is dealing with that, and then dealing with the follow-through of that. Just double checking the walkthrough really quick. Why don't we... Let me check something really quick. And yeah, LTT parallel would also work quite well. I mean, yeah, off the deeper end. The only way we would ever get a good Zelda anything is if it was a prestige show / movie. And we all know how that works. The froggy's like, hey! I apologize for taking so long. I need to do something really quick here. I do apologize. Hi, Evo. How's your week going? What's the thing? What am I missing? Okay, gosh darn it. Hang on a second. This is so frustrating. I'm sorry this is taking so long. Woof woof, consequently. Why does the dogs bark? Don't answer that. I know why dogs bark. It's because they hate us. And they desperately want us to suffer. Because of the malevolence that lurks within their dark hearts. There. I agree. Zelda's actually pretty much primed for that kind of adaptation. But it's never going to happen. Right. So... Someone else asked a question. I was going to say, so where would that season end? But someone else asked something. There was Fuzzy Duck says, if one has a story in mind, generally, what would you say determines whether the story should be delivered as episodic versus a complete package? It's actually a good question. So in my mind, it's more about the episodic matter doesn't really... The episodic nature doesn't really matter. Try that again. One second, please. No, Link... Okay, we'll come back to Link talking. There it goes. Jeez Louise. Because what really matters is how do you want to tell your story. Like a movie, you can do plenty of things with a movie, obviously. Woof, woof, woof. But a show is just going to allow for more things like everything I just mentioned. Character, world development, long-term establishment. Like you can allow... A show allows a story to breathe more, put simply. Same with a game, actually. There's just more you can do when you have something that isn't limited to about 90 minutes. And yes, I realize nowadays it's like 3 hours, but you get my point, right? So movies are there. Movies tend to be a little bit better at individual incidents, right? I know there's tons of exceptions to this, but like in general, if you want to tell a story, you want to do it with a show or a game or a book. If you want to tell a story, like about a moment or an incident or an impact or whatever, movie is just going to be better for that, right? And what are books best at? Books are best at getting insight inside a character's mind, because you can literally share the thoughts of a character, and there's no like asterisks there, right? There's no presumption, there's no possibility of it being dismissive or whatever, or a lie, or you. There's no possibility of you misinterpreting, because the book is telling you, I am thinking this. They might be lying or deceived or inaccurate, but there's no interpretation on your part. Make sense? Yeah, exactly. Pillars of Snow. Now, obviously, these rules are not set in stone, so this is all malleable. But like I was asked, in general. So in general, if you want to tell something that you want to have time to breathe and grow and develop, you probably want to do something that isn't a movie. Hey, do you take your mask off when you go to the bathroom? No, I leave it on. Why do you take yours off? You go through all that trouble in the bathroom, then you go through all the trouble putting it back on when you're done. Yeah, I go through the trouble. I mean, there is a place in there to hang your mask and all. And you're dumb. That's not for you to hang your mask. That's where you hang your bags and umbrellas and stuff like that. What do I look like? Oh my god, I look terrible. I always thought it was for masks, so that's why it's always been so hard to hang my mask there. Hey you, what's your guys' problem? What are you looking at? He's... What's all the ruckus? What in blazers are you... Sir, I wasn't aware you were here, sir. Please forgive my rudeness. Huh, the plot has started. Wearing such a shabby outfit will set a bad example to the men, Commander. Here, I'll prepare a change of clothing for you. Please put them on right away, sir. Likewise for the folks accompanying you, too. Alright, that's better. Well, I better return to my duties. Looks like there's been some sort of misunderstanding, but it's perfect for us. Let's find that thing before they figure out who we are. I'm very sorry, sir. Forgive me, sir. I'm always making mistakes. Dog, please. When claimant break down or malfunction, they take themselves to the garbage area. Talk about convenient. I'll even tell you why she's barking. She's barking because she wants to be let in so she can steal all the food that the people are eating. That's it. Hello, Commander. What's that? Looking for a Clayman? A Clayman that's gone haywire? Come now, Commander. There's no need for me to say this, but our product development is flawless. We've never made anything that might go berserk or malfunction. What, Evo? I'm sorry? What's the issue? I just saw an out-of-control Clayman run out the back door. Look at that. Better hurry before it gets stuffed inside a garbage truck and taken to the dump. Still, what in the world did you hide in it? Must have been something crazy to get you in such a tizzy. Oh, you can't say. It must be something embarrassing then, huh? Hang on, let's heal up to full, because we got a boss coming up. And these bosses, I swear. Oh my god, fine, hang on. Close the window. Hear her less. Dog. Oh my god. Look, I'm fine with dogs. I hate barking. I hate barking. I figured that out a few years ago. Because for the longest time I've said I hated dogs. But actually, dogs are legit. Dogs are cool, awesome, fun, loyal, friendly, helpful. And they bark. I hate barking. I saw a broken down Clayman rush out the back door super fast. Yep. When Claymen break, they climb into the garbage truck to get taken to the trash dump. When I think about that, it makes me feel kind of sad. Aww. Not a big fan of meowing either. No! Let it get away. Run! What in the world is that? Hang on, I missed a lore tidbit that's actually important. Yeah, Mother 1 did as well, actually, Mr. You know, let's just go heal. Because I clearly missed something, but I'm not sure. Who didn't I talk to? Did I talk to you? Yep. Unfortunately, I do, Evo. And then I murdered it. And ate it. As I watch this Clayman assembly line, time becomes like a blur to me. Warlock question. Do you mind repeating Blizzard Snow? Sorry. So it's more fun to work with as a DM. A player wanting their Warlock to have a defined clause to the pact, or a player who lets me define the conditions. Assuming equal quality of player, so it's a good player either way, I would say the former, when they come up with their own defined clauses to it. I like to encourage that kind of creativity in general. And I'm a big fan of players detrimenting themselves, if that makes any sense, rather than me having to police them. The heck? Scrapped robots. Okay. Interesting music choice for scrapped robots. Oh, absolutely, Braven. What you're saying is I need to run a one-shot for you, Eva. Okay, you're in a cave. You're a Fey Warlock, obviously. Now here's the deal. Your Fey Overlord has stated that you're perfectly fine as long as you avoid the color purple. Cave is blood red. But then, the boss battle showed up. It's you, Commander. I'm terribly sorry, sir. From the looks of it, it appears you mistakenly threw something into the garbage. Head to the garbage dump. Please follow the truck in this. Sure. Thanks. Garbage dump is northeast of here. Please hurry after it. Retrieve whatever embarrassing thing it was you accidentally threw away. Please be very careful not to slip in and get an accident. Well, see, here's the real problem. All of your spells cast a blue aura, Evo. How did we crash? Oh, Commander. You alright? That damn facade's been tossing banana peels all over the place, so it's easy to slip on them. Oh, okay, never mind. Frickin' facade, I swear. Here, you can take my pork bean if you'd like. Hang on. I'm not sure why, but you smell like a dog and a kid. What does a kid smell like? You're the kid from Club Tittaboo. Maybe think you can fool everyone else, but there's no fooling my wild nose. You sneaky piece of scum, pretending to be our commander. It's time to kill you horribly. It's the Fierce Pork Trooper. Of course they are, Mr. Red. Doesn't it make sense? So we're going to use the pamphlet on him. He's utterly mesmerized by the merch. Yeah, that's normal. No, I'm gonna cut off probably after this boss fight, I feel like. Probably one of the easiest songs to combo on, too. Jeez, that was a big eel. Yeah, it's true, Rex. Go figure. Ooh. Boney was like, I lived! I lived! Not bad, but don't think this is over just yet. And then he slips on the banana peels. Sorry, I'm looking at the walkthrough here. Because we have a mouse maze before we hit the Thunder Tower. Let's see if we can finish the mouse maze first. Yeah, let's try that. Okay. Let's hop back in our new ride. Ah! Ah! This thing's hard to drive. Oh, right. This is just where we started. Damn it! I know, right, Rex? Reminds me of the bus song in Earthbound, which is actually a pretty good song that you only hear when you're on the bus, which there's only one mandated plot moment where you do it in the entire game. And it's for a pretty short period of time. Don't go this way. Wow. I noticed that too, Rex. It's an interesting touch. Ooh, we learned hypnosis. My job is to stand here and say that this station is self-service. Cool. But why? That's what, it's no big deal. I just lost my ride! Come on. They built up a lot of infrastructure in a short period of time, didn't they? 3 years. Yeah. I don't want to encounter you. Go away. No! Yeah, okay, fine, whatever. They remind me of... There's actually a term for this, and I can't remember what it's called. It's like junk punk, right? Hodgepodge. It's thrown together, but functional. You know the aesthetic. I guess Mad Max would qualify, yeah. Not what I was thinking, but yeah. There you go, I got your new collar. Why can't Max or Boney equip a weapon? Hey, look, cars. For some reason. I got souvenirs, I got food. What you got? What you want? Ooh, my gosh, that is some expensive slop. Holy crap. Kitchen sink punk. I like that. Honestly, the orcs over in Warhammer 40k tend to have kitchen sink punk, too. Ah. Scrap punk. That's actually probably what it's called, because that makes sense, right? Or salvage punk. Millennium Falcon punk. I don't know. I was one step away from the switch when I ran out of power. Could you press the switch for me and help me recharge? Yeah, of course. I'm sorry to ask. Could you do that for me? Yeah, sure. Thank you. Thank you. As thanks, I will give you money. But please keep the recharge under 15 seconds, or else I might explode. Junk punk? Okay, so I want to save state because I want to see what happens if I explode him. Junk punk. You suck, dude. Okay, hang on. For realsies. "11 seconds. What? 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 Oh, whatever. Okay. What? Rhinocerocket. Ow. That was a 40 damage AoE. Jesus. No. 'I'm Leo Leo. I'm one bad dude. I brought all these presents here because girls everywhere are trying to make me fall for them. Everyone's from a different girl. Of course. So anyways, all these presents here belong to me. You can't have any. Okay. You naturally try to open a gift box instant to see one, don't you? Too bad. These ones belong to me. Look like you're thinking to yourself, come on, just one box. Well, too bad. I really doubt you're popular with the girls. You don't seem like a very bad dude either. I don't know. Should I let you open one? Nope, not gonna happen. Okay, you can have one, and only one. Even a bad dude like Leo has a nice side. That's why the chicks dig me. Alright, pick one. So, someone in chat, pick one. Bottom left. Well, but which one? Which one do I shoot? Which one do I shoot? Okay, we'll do upright instead. Doesn't matter. They're all the same thing. Sorry. Restores HP every turn. Holy crap. Yes, please. Oh my god, what a dive. Look at this place. Welcome. Cough, cough, cough. Make yourselves at home. I don't really need bouncers, though. As if to say, we're the bouncers for this joint. I can really get used to this place's uniquely disgusting feeling. In fact, I love it even more than Club Titiboo. Gum's so great, don't you think? You could chew it all day long and never run out. It's such an incredible deal. In a way, it's infinite. Hey man, I know the truth. I do not really the commander. You're an imposter. Don't worry though, I won't tell no one. You're too much of a hassle anyways. Okay, I'm gonna leave. This line is so long. The wait is killing me. I've been waiting for so long. I'm excited for my turn now. I wish this line would move. Or there's a ramen shop in this area that's so good it always has a huge line in front of it. At least that's the rumor anyway. This line has to be the one. Right. Well, why don't we go and save? Because we're about at the dump. And the dump is the next major dungeon. So we'll save here. And tomorrow, my favorite place, the dump.